Salufalava, this is Pacific Waves from RNZ Pacific. I'm Susanna Suisuiki. Coming up,
it would not have Nauru or Tonga in that discussion.
Trump's deep-sea mining order risks Nauru's ambitions. Also, a new report shows half of PNG's population are barely getting by. And
they're going to be able to support really tangible, meaningful programs that are going to make a difference.
40-hour challenge highlights Pacific issues. An executive order from US President Donald Trump aimed at fast-tracking seabed mining is causing ripples in the Pacific region. Anti-deep-sea mining advocates say the order likely risks Nauru's ambitions to mine in an area of the high seas known as the Clarion-Clipperton Zone. Nauru, alongside Tonga, Kiribati and Cook Islands, have special rights in the zone through the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea and International Seabed Authority. Advocates warn Trump's order and the behaviour of Canadian mining group, the Metals Company, risk these, even though Nauru and Tonga are its partners. Te Wila Fuatai has more.
With this sidestep of the International Seabed Authority framework, this would be a relationship between the Canadian company, the Metals Company, and the United States government. It would not have Nauru or Tonga in that discussion.
That's Phil McCabe from ocean advocacy group Deep Sea Conservation Coalition. He's talking about the potential impacts of the executive order Trump signed on April 24th.
It's a significant risk to Pacific Island countries, I think, because it really shakes and puts cracks in this internationally agreed rules-based order.
For more than a decade, the Metals Company has partnered with Nauru to explore commercial mining interests in the Clarion-Clipperton Zone. While it also has a contract with Tonga, the bulk of its exploration is focused on Nauru's block in the zone. The Clarion-Clipperton Zone is of high commercial interest because it has polymetallic nodules on its sea floor. These contain minerals used in making products like smartphones and electric batteries. They're also used in weapons manufacturing. To date, the Metals Company has been unsuccessful in gaining a commercial mining licence through the International Seabed Authority. It's been critical of the authority and says it's taking too long to develop a mining code. Now it's applying for permits for the Clarion-Clipperton Zone through a US process under Trump's order. Maureen Penguelli from the Pacific Network on Globalisation says the company is desperate. She's researched the deep-sea mining industry and says the Metals Company is increasingly focused on supplying minerals for defence and security needs. President Trump's order states the US wants to counter China's growing influence over seabed minerals.
So, there are a handful of minerals that are quite critical for all kinds of weapons development, from tankers to armaments like nuclear weapons, submarines, aircraft. So you will see that China dominates both in terms of amount of minerals that it stockpiles, but the mining process, the ore processing of that, China is the top producer.
Maureen Penguelli and Phil McCabe say that drive to dominate the seabed appears to have sidelined Nauru's more than decade-long commercial ambitions. They say it is also contributing to instability in the region. RNZ Pacific asked the Metals Company whether its US permits apply to either Nauru and Tonga's areas in the Clarion-Clipperton Zone. The company said it would confirm details of the blocks in the following weeks.
According to a World Bank report, about half of Papua New Guinea's population is living on less than $3.65 a day, and there's been little change in monetary well-being in decades. The report says the country has some of the poorest nutrition outcomes in the world, with almost half of children under the age of 5 being stunted. Caleb Fotheringham has more.
The World Bank says a quarter of PNG's youth are not in employment, training or education. In 2022, only 19% of the population had access to safe drinking water and 15% to electricity. Pacific Director for Save the Children, Kim Cook, says economic growth does not necessarily equate to people being lifted out of poverty.
Unfortunately, a lot of times the investments in that economic growth isn't always directed towards breaking poverty or addressing the safety nets that the most vulnerable families and children really need.
The most recent household income and expenditure survey in PNG was done in 2010, which revealed 40% of the population lived below the national poverty line of $2.15 a day, and there has since been little change in monetary well-being.
A lot of that poverty is driving food insecurity, compounding violence and neglect, those consequences are kind of intergenerational. It's really hard to break the cycle of poverty unless you have really specific, dedicated investments in that purpose.
Ms. Cook says it's often children's education, safety, and health that suffer.
That is usually because families are investing in just their basic needs, and things like sending their kids to school, having a nutritious diet, seeking medical care. Those are often lower on the priority list.
The report says half of Fiji's population lives on less than $7 a day. However, it's expected to drop to 49% in 2025 and 46% in 2027 as economic growth increases. The executive director of the Fiji Council of Social Services, Vani Narasimha, says the forecast improvement is encouraging, but more needs to be done.
We feel that there needs to be better effort at empowering women and youth, particularly when we look at the issues surrounding the labour force.
In Solomon Islands, a phone survey by the World Bank in 2024 found about half of all households are worried about their finances. The report says food insecurity remains high, with about half the population eating less than they thought they should be in the past 30 days. However, the economy is expected to grow by an average of 2.7% from 2025 to 2027, and poverty rates are projected to drop with it.
Te Hina Paupau has never set foot on the atolls of Tokelau where her family roots lie, but she has cemented her footprints in Tokelau history as the first person of Tokelau heritage to be drafted into the WNBA. When she was drafted by the Atlanta Dream on April 14th, she didn't attend the draft venue in New York City. Instead, she chose to celebrate with her family and friends in Oceanside, California. She spoke with one of Tokelau's environment officers and the non-self-governing territory of New Zealand's only trained journalist, Elena Basilio, about how her identity has shaped her.
Recently, I actually just found out I was Tokelauan. It's on my mom's side, so I don't really know much about it, but I know that she takes great pride in it, and it's something that I've also taken pride in it because it means so much to my mom, and so she means a lot to me. So I obviously wanted to, represent that type of heritage and just let people know not only am Samoan, I am Tokelauan, and she made me wear a necklace to represent that as well on draft day. So it's something that I really cherish, and it's something that I'm very proud of, and I'm looking forward to let other people know my Tokelauan heritage.
How did it feel when you found out that you were the first of Tokelau heritage to be in the WNBA?
I loved it. I mean, my mom has told me so much about it, and just to be able to be that first Tokelauan, W player, it's something that I'm proud of and something that I'm going to cherish. And it's also something that I'm just super proud of because it's something that's rare, but also it's coming out as something that is going to be fun to learn and know about.
Were there times that your culture felt like a source of pride or pressure on the way up?
I mean, I'm just super proud and blessed to be, Polynesian and Samoan. You can name it whatever you want, but just coming from that background and having that culture behind me, I love it. And there's no pressure at all. It's just something that God has gifted me with. Faith is really big in our culture, and it's something that I've leaned on recently just because of how life has been, and just being able to lean back on my support on my family as well, because, faith and family is such a big thing in Polynesian culture. And it's something that I take great pride in. I mean, there's no pressure, like I said, just because of how big of support I have from my community, from every Samoan, Tokelau, and Polynesian community that there is. They show a lot of love and support, and it's something that I want to keep giving to younger athletes, not only female but male as well. And it's just something that I take really great pride in, and it's like something that everyone's starting to get to know of, and I'm starting to open my arms up and just let people know what Samoan and Polynesian heritage is and my culture, because it's so important and it's so cool at the same time. Like I love talking about it. Like it's just something that I really take pride in. And Alyssa Peely, she's one of those too, and she really set the way for not only me but others as well. And I'm just looking forward to see how our community can grow, not only in the basketball community but in sports in general.
What message do you want to give Tokelauan kids, or just any kids in the Pacific who look up to you?
I want them to know that everything's going to be okay. There's no pressure at all. Just be who you are. Have great faith, trust in God, lean on your family because they're always going to be there for you no matter who you have around you. Your family's always going to have your back. They're always going to support you. And just respect them, love them. There are going to be hard times, but at the same time, you got to lean back on your faith and lean on your family and also have fun with the process, trust the process, and just take it one day at a time. Inspire others as well because there's not a lot of us, but there's a lot of support and love within that atmosphere.
If you could speak directly to a young girl in Pacifica right now about what you're doing, what would you tell her about chasing dreams?
I would just tell her that have fun with the process, but at the same time, don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone. Um, it's not always glitz and glamour. It's not always going to be fun, but those are the days where you gotta get over that hump and you just gotta trust the process. And like I said, you just gotta have, faith in family, trust in God, trust in your family, lean on that support and lean on that love. And don't be afraid to take pride in what you are. And, being Samoan and Polynesian, Tokelau and Pacifica, we always are rooting for you. I love when I see young Samoan, girls just balling out and having fun in their sport, not only basketball, but softball, um, football, even rugby, like all those type of sports. Like I love watching, Polynesians and Tokelauans just grow within their sport because I'm always going to support them and I'm always going to be proud of that because you don't see a lot of us playing those type of sports. I mean, it's really fun. And just to see people just grow and have fun within whatever they're doing, I'm always proud. I'm showing love and support. So just don't be afraid to be who you are and um, just keep having fun.
So what does success look like for you now, not just in basketball, but as a Tokelauan woman in the spotlight?
I mean, I haven't really done anything yet in my eyes, but for like little girls and people who are watching me, the grind doesn't stop. The work doesn't stop. I mean, now I got a job and that job is to play basketball. And outside of that, I'm just speaking on who I am and trying to bring everyone, to know more about my culture, know more about being Samoan, know more about being Tokelauan and what my culture is and what we do as a community because it's such a big community and there's so much love and support that I know a lot of people are gonna, start buying into my culture, into the culture and just being able to learn more. And something that I'm actually really proud of was wearing a bule at my draft party. My mom actually wanted me to wear a bule for that day, and I was like, heck yeah, like I love the design that she chose, the fabric that we wore. We wore it as a family unit. Me and my siblings and my dad and my mom were matching with the same fabric. And I just told him that it was a puletasi, and it's something that we wear in our culture to show respect and that we're well known for our designs, which you are wearing right now, which I love. And it's something that I wanted to showcase because not a lot of people know about our culture, especially in the league. And so that's something that I really wanted to start off on the right foot was letting people know that I'm really proud of my culture. And it's something that a lot of us, women and men wear in the culture to show respect and to show unity. And it's just to show how beautiful we are. It's something that I really loved and I cherish and will forever remember because that was probably my favorite part about the draft day.
What do you hope people, especially in Tokelau or Samoa, what do you hope they remember most about your story?
That I took really great pride in my culture and just how I want to bring more people to know about, Samoan and Tokelau heritage and culture just because of how proud I am of it. And I want people to know that I inspire them to want to learn more about our culture or even inspire little ones to play or keep playing their sports and being that, inspiration for them because I don't ever want them to stop playing just because they don't have anyone they can look up to. So I just want them to know that I take really great pride in my culture and I'm learning and leaning on trying to bring everyone to know what Samoan and Tokelau heritage is.
Thank you, Tahina. Those are the end of my questions. Is there something you wanted to add on?
I'm just super proud to be, Samoan and Tokelau. I mean, it's just something that I love that people are taking notice of and they're wanting to learn more about our culture and that you'll see me wearing more pules before game days. So y'all, tune in, see what the fabric be looking like But it's going to be a really fun season, and I'm just really excited to let people know what I'm very proud of, and that's to be Samoan and Tokelau heritage. And now I'm going to learn more about my Tokelauan side.
World Vision's 40-hour famine has morphed into a 40-hour challenge, and this year the Pacific is the target. The charity is hoping to inspire young New Zealanders with a test for the modern era to go offline for 40 hours. The switch-off can be social media, gaming, the internet, or even electricity. World Vision's New Zealand Associate National Director TJ Grant told Catherine Ryan it's about giving young people in Aotearoa a chance to connect with something bigger and greater than themselves. He says they're featuring Solomon Islands this year.
Young people, when they raise funds, when they get support, they're going to be able to support really tangible, meaningful programs. They're going to make a difference for children and families and future generations in Solomon Islands. We were in a remote area, Morale Sound. The people there, 80% still rely on fishing and farming for their livelihoods.
1 in 6 children in the Pacific experience food poverty, with rising seas impacting on traditional fishing and farming practices and increasing food insecurity. 19-year-old Roy Wasi is World Vision Solomon Islands youth advocate and represented his country at a number of global climate change forums. He says people there rely on food from the garden and the sea.
So one of the biggest issues that our people face is the changing weather patterns, or even I said the climate change. Well, it's really affecting the children and how the people live.
This year's challenge runs the weekend of June 13th to 15th. That's Pacific Waves for today. For episodes, head over to rnz.co.nz/Pacific. We're also on Spotify, Apple and iHeartRadio. From myself and the RNZ Pacific team, tō whā soifua.